So this is the actual review worksheet, not the PowerPoint, but the review worksheet. So there'll be some overlap because a lot of the PowerPoint questions were pulled from the review worksheet. So for questions 1, 2, and 3, they're looking to see which one has a larger standard deviation. So a larger standard deviation means a larger spread of data, right? So a larger spread of data means that the scores are kind of all over the place. There are some low scores, middle scores, some high scores, just kind of spread out, right? So the larger the standard deviation, the larger the spread of our data. So if I look between and try to compare these, assuming that the scales are the same, and I look at this, I can see that I have a larger spread, right? Because this is longer than this. So this would be a larger standard deviation. Okay, so that's how I tell on my box and whisker. So then if I look here, same kind of idea. I look to see how wide the graph goes, right? So I look here and compare to here. So this has a tighter grouping in the middle, while this one is spread out. Yes, there's a tight grouping in the middle, but then there's these stray people to the left and to the right. So this would have a larger standard deviation. To tell on my 5-number summary, let's look at how far apart is the median to the low. And the median to the high. So the median to the low, the median to the high. So a larger spread, so which one has a bigger gap, so all the way from 2 up to 40, from 20 to 30. So this would have a larger standard deviation. Okay, so from 2 to 40, 20 to 30. I really didn't need this. I was thinking of distribution when I was doing this, like if it's skewed left or skewed right. So I don't really need to know that. I just look at from 2 to 40, there's a bigger spread compared to 20 to 30. Okay, so describe the distribution, so meaning, you know, skewed left, skewed right, that sort of thing. So if I take a look at the number 4, so I have a tail off to the right, so this would be skewed right. Right, because here's my median. This is larger this way, longer that way. If I look from 2 to 10, from 14 to 16, I have a longer spread over here, so then this would be skewed left. So if I look at my curve here, I have more this way, so this would be skewed right. And then let's take a look at the stem and leaf. I have more to the right than I do to the left, so this would be considered skewed right. And when I say more, I'm like looking at my values, right? I have 6 numbers here, only 3 here. So this would be considered skewed right. Okay, so this one is making sure we know our notation, right? We need to know what these symbols mean. We can't just use the words, right? So for this symbol, so X bar, that's our mean or average. Lowercase sigma is our standard deviation. When I add up all the values and divide by n, right, so sum up the values and divide by n, that's called the average or the mean. So that's the formula for number 8. Okay. When my standard deviation is squared, that's called my variance. And I find my variance by summing the difference between my values and the average squared divided by n, right? So when I average that last column, that was called my variance. So this, right, is the formula. So this is the formula to find my variance, and then I square root that to find my standard deviation. Okay. All right, so now for number 13, I want to use the dot plot to find the mean, the median, and the type of distribution. So you don't have to do it this way, but just to make it a little bit easier, I'm going to go ahead and list out my values. So I have one, so this is like a frequency table. So I have one dot at 1, I have 2 dots at 2, I have 1, 2, 3 dots at 3, I have 2 dots at 4, 1 dot at 5, 2 dots at 6, 1 at 8, 2 at 9, none at 10, and then 1 at 11. So those are my data values. So if I want to find for part A the average, I would add up all my numbers. So I would add all of these up. And I didn't do that ahead of time, so let me see if I can do this quickly. So that would be 5, 8, 14, 18, 22, 27, 39, 47, and 18 and 11. So 76 divided by 15. I meant to do that ahead of time and I forgot, so let me get this real quick. So 76 divided by 15, so I get 5.06, so 5.1. So there's my average. Let me count my dots just to make sure I didn't leave anything behind. So I have 15 of them. And then let me do a quick add up here real quick just to double check my numbers. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay. And so now to find the median, so I have 15 of them, so I'm going to go in. So 4 is in the middle, so 7 on the left, 7 on the right. So the first half contains 7, second half contains 7, so the median would be 4, or quartile 2. And so then for the type of distribution, I know that the mean, which is 5.1, is greater than the median, so that would be skewed right. I can also look here, there's my highest, and I have more value over here, so skewed right. And that's just page 1 of the review worksheet.